What is up, guys? I'm back in the studio with Riley Maguire here today for an NFL draft recap. We saw the NFL draft. It was exciting. There were trades and there were some great picks. 5 quarterbacks in the first round. We've got a lot to talk about, but Riley, what was your favorite pick this year?
You know, Sean, I just want to start by saying it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Favorite pick of the year, Slater to the Chargers. They needed an O-line presence. Front office got it done.
You know what? I do love the pick. Justin Herbert was Rookie of the Year. He is the future of the franchise. You've got to protect your franchise quarterback. For my favorite pick, I've got a couple I really loved because of the value. I did not think Devonta Smith should have gone at 10. I think he should have been picked earlier. You get the Heisman Trophy winner for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. That's going to help Jalen Hurts out a lot and give the Eagles the number 1 receiver they have been looking for. And then right after that, I love the Chicago Bears trading up, making a big move to get Justin Fields, their quarterback of the future. What did you think about these 2 picks, and did you think that both of these players should have been available at 10 and 11?
You know, I agree with Justin Fields. Man proved himself time and time again. Draft value took a hit as we approached the draft with no really reason for it. He didn't have any games to lose value, but it went down. I think he definitely was a top 5 prospect. Now, Devonta Smith, I like him as a player, but a lot of people are questioning his weight and whether he's going to be able to handle himself in the NFL.
Well, you know, I think he showed at Alabama exactly what he's capable of, and I think when he gets on the field, it's a tough guy to stop. But going on with the receivers, we saw 3 receivers go in the first round this year. Jamar Chase to the Bengals, Jalen Waddle to the Dolphins, and Devonta Smith to the Eagles. What do you like about these 3 receivers, and how do you think they're going to help their teams moving forward?
You know, with Jamar Chase, he's already got that chemistry with his quarterback, Joe Burrow. They've thrown touchdowns time and time again. I think they're going to jump right back into what they're doing at LSU. The only issue is if Burrow has the protection to get that pass off. And if he does, I see them being a dynamic duo for years to come. Jalen Waddle, we'll have to see how his injury recovers. But as long as everything goes right, he's going to be a threat down the field for Tua. And Devonta Smith, as long as the weight thing doesn't affect him too much, he should be a deep threat in Philly.
And, you know, I think this year we saw a lot of teams trying to get an explosive offense. We've seen what the Chiefs have done. We've seen what the Bucs did last year. They have deep receiving cores. They have explosive plays, and big plays are taking over the NFL right now, which is why I think the Cincinnati Bengals took Jamar Chase instead of an offensive lineman right there. They'll build the line, but you have to get those explosive playmakers, which also explains why the Falcons took Kyle Pitts at number 5. The guy is a tight end unlike anyone we've seen in the draft in recent years, and you know, he really looks like a Darren Waller type of build. He's going to be a receiving threat. You know, he's one of the best prospects that they've had coming out of the draft in recent memory, and a lot of people are saying that he has the potential to be the best tight end ever. So what are you looking forward to in Atlanta with Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and that explosive, high-powered offense?
You know, that offense is extremely high-powered. They have the potential to put up crazy amount of points per game. The issue is going to come on the defensive side. If they could score 60 a game, but if they're allowing 72, it's game over. So Kyle Pitts does have the potential to be great. He is probably the best tight end prospect of all time, and I would love to see where his career goes.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I just hope that they do not trade Julio Jones. I don't think it's going to happen. There's rumors you'll hear swirling around Julio Jones' name, but I would love to see this Atlanta offense take off and see where they can go, because it could be something kind of replicating Peyton Manning's year in Denver when they were scoring in the 50s multiple times in the year. So we know the NFC South has always been a high-powered offense division, shootouts left and right, and we might see some more in Atlanta week in and week out.
We just might.
Now, moving on, we've talked a lot about the offense. Defensively, what did you like in this draft from the teams that we saw pick star defensive players early in the draft?
You know, I personally like going defense. I think you have a defense that doesn't allow points, they can't win. That's my thing. I loved Micah Parsons. He fell a little bit. I think he definitely should have been picked earlier, but he is going to be a threat in this league for years to come.
Yeah, I think that he probably should have been taken a little bit earlier, and I think the Dallas Cowboys were extremely happy to find him fall right into their pick. They've got a great linebacking core there in Dallas, and when Dak Prescott was healthy last year, we saw the Cowboys' offense at the top of the league. So if they can get back to those offensive numbers and bolster their defense, which was the concern during that time, the Cowboys all of a sudden are a real legit shot to be playoff contenders. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I mean, with the Cowboys, they did not pick up Leighton Vander Esch's fifth-year option, so they might have that role to fill a linebacker. Micah Parsons fits that job description perfectly. Guy's a hard hitter. He can fly around the field. He's going to be great for the linebacker core, great for the defense as a whole. I see him being a decoy multiple times in his career.
Yeah, that's some bold predictions, but again, his body of work has backed it up. And also, we saw some defensive players taken. The Broncos and the Panthers both took corners at the top of the draft. I love the picks. You got to get your secondary handled, especially for the Broncos in a division with Patrick Mahomes. You're going to face the Chiefs twice a year. Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, all the teams like to throw. And same thing for the Carolina Panthers. You're facing the Bucs, the Falcons, and the Saints, teams that love to throw. So how important do you think it was for those two franchises to bolster their secondaries?
I mean, yeah, like Denver, they have to defend Tyreek Hill. They have to defend Keenan Allen. Like, those two guys alone, they have to defend twice a year. Those two guys are amazing receivers, and you need an amazing corner to defend them.
Mm-hmm.
And then down in Carolina, they got to defend Mike Evans, they got to defend Julio Jones, they got to defend Chris Godwin,
Michael Thomas.
Like, the list just goes on. The receivers in the NFC South are insane, and you need a great secondary to defend them.
Yeah, the NFL right now, it seems like they're kind of focused on the offense. That's what makes the money and the highlights and everything, but if you do not have a defense, you will not win in the National Football League. We saw that with the Buccaneers again last year. Their defense was about the only team all year that was able to slow down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and it shows their offense was amazing. You had Brady, you had the receivers, but their defense won the Super Bowl for them in that game. And that's what, you have to get your playmakers on offense, but you have to be able, when the game's on the line, to trust your defense to make a stop, and the Panthers and the Broncos are making moves in order to do that. Now, we talked about Micah Parsons falling a little bit in the draft. There were other players, Rashad Bateman, even Penei Sewell, who fell in the draft a little bit because it seemed like they fell because they opted out of the season. All three of those players were at least Sewell top 5 pick, Parsons top 10, and Bateman probably top 15 at least. How much do you think this year off helped or hurt them and other prospects who opted out?
I think it did more hurt than harm to opt out this year. Sure, Jamar Chase still got drafted just about where he should be drafted. Penei Sewell, though, fell. Micah Parsons, he fell a lot. Parsons definitely should have been picked higher. Should have been off the board pretty quickly there. I definitely think opting out was the wrong choice for these players.
Yeah, and it was tough at the time to know that because a lot of them did not think they'd be having a season. And when you don't think that, instead of sticking around to see what it could have been, they went straight to combine training and getting ready, which is why we saw Micah Parsons run a 4.3 from the linebacker position. He got a whole year, essentially, to train for the combine instead of a couple months with a normal year and a normal season. That's how much time players usually get. So I think it did hurt some guys. I think there were some guys, too, who went in day 2 who should have probably gone in day 1 if they had gotten to showcase themselves on the field and get that game film this past season. But nonetheless, I think most of the guys who opted out are happy with where they landed. I think Micah Parsons is stoked to be in Dallas. I think Rashad Bateman fell right to the Ravens, a perfect big target for Lamar Jackson to go along with Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, and that lethal running game in Baltimore. So I think it worked out in the end for these guys, but I definitely do think their stock took a little bit of a hit because, they weren't in the minds of GMs and coaches. You didn't get to see how they did this year and put them in your franchise. You had to look back a year, like 2 seasons ago, to really see their production, which I think makes it a little worrisome sometimes for drafting a player who's been off for a year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're scouting a prospect, you're trying to look at what he's doing now, not what he did a couple years ago. So I definitely think a lot of teams were nervous, per se, about taking a player who took that year off because we don't know where he's at now when he puts the pads on.
But it's going to be exciting, and I think there are a lot of great picks, so let's get into it. It's early. We haven't even had training camp yet, but who are your early offensive rookie and defensive rookie of the year?
On the defensive side, I've got to go Micah Parsons. Man's going to fly around the field. He's going to make explosive plays. He's going to be a day one guy in Dallas. I see no reason for him not to win defense.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's in the perfect situation. He's going to go in, he's going to get a ton of tackles, and he's going to make a bunch of big plays. He's a highlight reel on the defensive side. Now, personally, on the offensive side of the ball, I have to go Trevor Lawrence. The Trevor Lawrence pick wasn't as exciting as it probably should have been because we have known for about 2 years now that he would go number 1 overall to whoever was going to get that pick. But the Jacksonville Jaguars have everything to be excited about. They got their guy, and I think that he is, he and Zach Wilson are the two for sure day one starters, it looks like right now, at the quarterback position from the rookies, and I think Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer are going to get to work, and they're going to make some noise this year. It's a rebuilding team, but I think they're definitely trending in the right direction right now.
In that opinion, you can't go wrong with Trevor Lawrence based off of everything we've seen in college. Now, I'm going to come out with an unpopular opinion. I do not think Trevor Lawrence will pan out. I am probably the only person you'll ever hear say that.
That's probably true.
I do not think he will pan out in the NFL. But my offensive rookie of the year, another unpopular opinion is going to be Mac Jones. I don't see him starting week 1. I think Cam Newton's going to pick up right where he left off last season, shaky season. He's going to come out week 1, not play so great. Belichick's going to have an option there to start Mac Jones over him week 2. I think he takes it, and I think Mac Jones takes the job and runs with it.
We'll see what happens. We'll see if your unpopular opinions become popular down the line. I will say I definitely have to disagree with you about Trevor Lawrence. I think he is going to be everything that he's been, projected to be. But speaking of Mac Jones, another great pick by the Patriots. To fall to 15, many thought he might go 3rd to the 49ers. And I know Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots could not have been happier to see him available there. It seemed like the Patriots knew the whole time that he was going to be there. And they didn't trade up, they didn't trade assets away, but they got their guy at 15. And I know for sure there are 5 happy franchises who got their new quarterbacks this year in Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones. So how many of these quarterbacks do you see starting this year, or do you think anyone will sit the whole year?
Really, of the quarterbacks taken in the first round, the only one I could see sitting the whole year is Trey Lance, just because they do have Jimmy Garoppolo, and Shanahan has made no intention of getting rid of him. And it seems as if Lance is going to learn under Garoppolo for a year. And so he's really the only guy I could see not starting in a single game.
Yeah, and it's the 49ers are stoked to have Trey Lance, but what a lot of people forget is that Jimmy Garoppolo has only lost 8 games as a 49er. Now, he has been hurt for a lot of the time, which is part of the reason I think that they went and drafted a quarterback as some insurance for the injury of Garoppolo, but really, when Garoppolo is out there, he's winning the vast majority of the games he's in. So I think the 49ers are definitely a team that we can see have a huge rebound year. I think that they're at least in contention for the playoffs all year. And it'll be interesting with the quarterback situations and every quarterback situation, for all the rookies to see who thrives, who's able to start, what training camp looks like, and will teams commit to waiting on these rookie quarterbacks, or do they feel that some guys like Justin Fields, Mac Jones are ready right now and can go in and start day one? It'll be interesting, but we will see, and it's an exciting rookie class. Any other thoughts on who you're excited to watch next year from the rookie class?
Penei Sewell, I think he's going to be an explosive O-lineman. Yep. If I'm an NFL general manager, I'm taking him top 3. I think he's probably one of the best offensive linemen to come out of the draft in years and years and years. And I think he's going to have a long career ridden with accolades.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you can get a left tackle, that's one of the building blocks of an NFL franchise. Detroit is in a little rebuild right now, but we've seen a lot of times how did the 49ers get good? They got a great O-line. The Cowboys, when Ezekiel Elliott was rushing, leading the league in yards, they had a great O-line. Detroit made a great pick there. You get somebody you know is going to be great. Just like the Indianapolis Colts, great O-line. Their franchises all rose when their O-line started to get really good. So I think this is a great move for the Lions. And, again, just another team making the right decision in the draft, not overthinking it, getting not only the best player available, but a player who's going to help a rebuilding franchise immensely.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, if you got the right O-line, I think we could toss me back in the backfield and I could run for 100 yards a game if we got the right guys in front of me.
If any NFL teams are watching, maybe Riley gets a training camp invite or something this year. You open to that?
Rams, I'm looking at you.
Rams, you heard him here first. So, Riley Maguire, free agent right now, just looking for an opportunity. Now, before we wrap it up, a way too early Super Bowl prediction. Who do you have coming out of the AFC and the NFC?
NFC, I've got to go with my Rams. I see no reason for them not to go to the Super Bowl. I don't think anything's standing in their way. I think we have all of the pieces that we need. I think the addition of Tutu Atwell from the draft in the second round, I think he's going to make a great wide receiver 3 behind Kupp and Brandon Cooks. I think the addition of Matthew Stafford is going to make our offense just that much better. Quarterback was the one position we were kind of lacking in on offense last season. And it kind of showed in the playoffs. Granted, Goff was dealing with that thumb injury, but it still showed. And then out of the AFC, I can't bet against the Chiefs. I cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes leading his team to another Super Bowl.
Yeah, and NFC, I agree with you with the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford is going to lead this team to the Super Bowl. AFC, I'm going to go a little bit out on a limb, and I'm going to pick the Baltimore Ravens. I think this might be the year that Lamar Jackson leads his team to the Super Bowl. The Ravens' defense is going to be great. Their running game is going to be great, and I like how they improved at the receiver position. So I'm going to go with the Ravens upsetting the Chiefs. But we'll see what happens. We've got a lot of time. There's a lot to happen before then. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be traded to another team. That could change Super Bowl implications. We really don't know what can happen moving forward. We know the rest of the offseason will be exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to the start of this next NFL season.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on today.
Yep, thank you for coming on. We'll be back out here soon. NBA playoffs are starting up soon. There's a lot to talk about. Stay tuned.